Hi, welcome to Gear Garage. I'm Zach, and this is my funny little internet show about whitewater things. And in today's episode, I want to talk about tying your oar to a raft, or attaching your oar to a raft, in case you flip or something happens to your oar so your oar doesn't float away. Those of you that use pins and clips, you can skip this. With pins and clips, there's a little stirrup that goes around it, and if the oar comes out, it stays close to the boat. So if you're a pins and clips person, go read a book, have dinner, watch a different YouTube video. This isn't for you. For those of you that think oar locks are the way to go, you need to figure out how to attach your oar to the boat, because you're basically just sliding your oar into this lock, and if you catch it on a rock or do something funny, it can pop out pretty easily. And you want to have some way to have your oar attached to the boat so if the oar doesn't float away on you, basically. And so those of you that like to buy things, you can go to NRS, you can buy a little clip deal with a bunch of loops and things, and it's a system that works, and it's just fine. It's pretty easy. I'm not a big fan of it. I like the simplicity of just basically using some sort of piece of rope. You can use like thin cord, you can use rope, you can, this is 1/2-inch webbing, which I think is really nice because it's strong. Some people want this to be weak. They want it to be weak so that if it gets pulled really hard, it does break. I'm happy with this being strong, so it's up to you. And you basically just tie a knot around your oar. I choose to use the bowline. If you can't tie a bowline, you can't tie knots, this method doesn't work for you. You should buy the NRS thing. But if you're a boater, you should probably know how to tie knots. So I'd highly recommend tie knots. And if you tie the bowline every time you go boating to tie your spare oar on, it's a great way to learn the bowline. So I'll tie a bowline here really quick. If you're super fancy, you'll tie a slip bowline. It'll be easy to untie later. And you want to tie it in a way so there's not much room underneath the rope here, so you can't get a hand stuck in there. Some people have these big loops, and that could potentially be some sort of entrapment. And once the oar is tied on, you just slide it in, and you're ready to go. This is pretty easy. It's a really simple solution. It's cheap, and I'm a huge fan of doing it. Sometimes, though, if you have the NRS thingies or some other thing, you forget these, you may have nothing to tie your oars on with. And I've used a cam strap a bunch. And in that case, I just take the cam strap. This is a pretty easy method if you forgot your oar tethers or something. I strap it to the frame, and then same thing. I just tie a bowline, and if you can tie bowlines with a cam strap, you can tie them with anything. I'll tie a bowline around, and this is just a nice, easy solution for those times when you can't find an oar tether, or you're just broke maybe, and you gotta do some other solution. Just like that, and that works just fine too. So that's attaching your oar to your oar frame. Pretty straightforward. Again, I highly recommend the simplicity of just simple rope or webbing or something that you can tie and untie. So if you have any questions, things to add, as always, add some comments in the comment section below, and yeah, see you next time. Thanks.